humanitarian crisis, spurred a spike in international criminal activity, and opened the floodgates to human traffickers and drug smugglers, endangering the public health and safety in our streets nationwide. A crisis that began on the southern border now extends beyond to every state and requires immediate action before this situation gets worse. Apprehensions have surged almost 500% since last year, 1.3 million people, which is more people than the populations of 9 U.S. states at this point in time. Now, as I was reading that earlier, I thought, where the hell is Kamala Harris? Where's the vice president? Wasn't she delegated the duties of handling this border crisis months ago? Yeah, she was. And I'm not the only one thinking along that line. Vice President Harris is coming under fire for what critics perceive as a lack of interest in this crush of illegals at the southern border, despite her responsibility. She's supposed to be the nation's border czar. Criticism on social media revved up even as Whoopi Goldberg announced this past day that Harris would come on the show Friday. Last Saturday, the Democrat mayor of Del Rio, Texas, where 10 to 15,000 are sheltered under the bridge there, ripping the vice president for attending a football game featuring her alma mater, Howard University. The VP can visit the fun events around the country while American communities continue to grapple with this failed immigration reform. Where's the visit to Del Rio, he says. The Republican National Committee also blasting her this past day, focusing on her trip to Washington's Audi Field to flip the coin to start Saturday's game. To put the border crisis in perspective, let's compare the numbers Customs and Borders has reported to the capacity of Audi Field. Audi Field holds 20,000 people. You could fill 60 Audi Fields with the over 1,200,000 border encounters since February 1st of this year, almost the entire stadium with over 18,000 unaccompanied children picked up on the border. You could fill 10 Audi Fields with the 208,000 border encounters in just the past 30 days. If Harris doesn't care about the border, then why is she still the border czar? Her priorities are obviously stunningly misplaced. Biden found time to go on vacation. She found time to go to the football game. They both have time to actually do their jobs, visit the border, and get something going, get them the resources they need to end this. I think, as most of us have been saying, though, I don't think they care. I really don't. Meanwhile, Strawberry, what's going on?
Strawberry again, huh? No, it's Gilligan. It's not Strawberry.
Two in a row, and it actually has Strawberry printed up for the last two calls.
well, I'm not going to change my handle to Strawberry. I sent you a link for the story. I don't know whether you read it or not, but you talked about what we can learn a lot from Israel. Did you see the one about them back in November? They just released it. New York Times did the story over the weekend. And they took out this Iranian nuclear scientist, used a machine gun that was this high-powered remote-controlled machine gun from 1,000 miles away. Yeah, I tell you what, that's getting it done right there. What do you think? This guy was the father of Iran's nuclear weapons program. I mean, yeah, we can learn a lot from the facade, I believe. Don't you think, Steve?
I saw the headline to that story that it was like so it's kind of like a drone strike where someone hundreds or maybe 1,000 miles away is in control of it, but watching on a video screen. And that's pretty much what this gun, I don't know. Did it say where they had placed it or how they got the gun where it was?
I don't believe so. I read most of the story, but unfortunately I didn't. I'm sorry, I have to get back with you on that. I should be a little better informed. I don't know whether you've seen this link on one of your pages, but did you see about the Brazilian truck driver, the lady that's got 2 million miles? That's over 2 million miles down there in Brazil. Did you see that? She's trying to, she told her name is Sheila Rose Marconi. She racked up over $2 million. But she's been trying. She's hot-picked Brazilian truck driver. She's trying to encourage women to go into trucking. I thought that was rather interesting. She's driving what looks to be a Gold, if I'm not mistaken, Freightliner Argosy. Just driving one of them contraptions right there's a feat in itself. I've actually drove them trucks, and them things, they was Freightliner's last attempt at a cab over, and I'll tell you what, it wasn't a very good attempt, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
They used to have these steps on them, that when you opened up the door, they would come up like a staircase. Well, them trucks get about 200,000 on them, and well, you be driving down the road, look in your mirror, your steps have come out because the mechanism to put them out there it broke. Well, I thought that was rather interesting. She's trying to encourage more women into trucking. It's on your on the Outcast page.
Okay.
By the way, I got a message for Mr. Flyrod. He's going to be in trouble. I was able to contact my lawyer on Friday morning. Yep. I went down with the thriving metropolis of Highview and went down to Cape the Bridge, the other big city there nearby, and there stood my lawyer on the corner holding up a sign that says, "We'll do law work for food." So I had him the letter already printed up about Flybroid's exploits. He told me, he says, as soon as you get back from California, from representing Heatwave, he's going to address this. So I think Heatwave's trial's on the 15th, so the lawyer should get back on the bus somewhere before Halloween. So be expecting papers to be filed against Mr. Flyrod.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I can't, he doesn't have an office or a telephone. I either got to catch him in town or write him a letter. He does have a P.O. box. A little hard to get a hold of. But that's about all I got for tonight. Thanks for taking my call, Steve.
All right. Thank you so much, Strawberry. Good to have you with us. It is 844-844-3388, the Steve Sommers Overnight Drive live from the Hot Shot Secret Studios.
You're listening to the Overnight Drive with Steve Sommers.
Do you have a Dodge pickup and hate your automatic transmission? Of course you do. LaVon Miller at Firepunk Diesel here, and we specialize in heavy-duty and performance transmissions for your 3-quarter or 1-ton Cummins-powered truck. So if you're interested in turning your stock slush box into a towing monster, call us today at 614-733-3744 or visit us online at shop.firepunk.com.
At Turbo 3000, our founder Andy Matouche firmly believed you should challenge yourself.
Put the most money back in your pocket, where it belongs. Four Wheeler magazine took our challenge, and they wrote it did exactly what we said it would do.
As fuel prices keep going up, get your Turbo 3000 today. Call us at 888-311-9993. Always free shipping in the USA, and for a limited time, save $45 off total purchase using coupon code STEVESAVES at turbo3000.com.
Attention all truckers, Dean Michael, the tax doctor here. I want to talk to you about those dreaded tax problems. I know you want to keep on trucking and not even think about them. Well, let's face it, they're not going away all on their own. You need professional help. I've been helping truckers put their tax problems in the rearview mirror for years. I can help you too. Call me for a free consultation at 888-632-4506 or go to mytaxhelpmd.com. It's like I always say, keep your eyes on the road, I'll keep mine on the IRS. 888-632-4506.
It's the fans' chance to see the best. It's the pullers' chance to be the best. And after a light shower, 9 regional classes have their moment in the sun. From National Tractor Pullers Association headquarters in Columbus, Ohio, this is the NTPA Overnight Radio Report. It was an Enderley pull-off for the ages. A massive audience of pulling junkies, interested townsfolk, and curious newcomers filled Ohio's Champaign County Fair grandstand to watch 100 of the best in the world. We'll congratulate next week all the Grand National winners, but for now, let's show a little love to the regional national competitors, many of whom just made their longest pulling journey to date and will return home with glorious tales that will sustain them throughout their pulling careers. In stainless diesel, 8,000-pound Pro Stock diesel 4x4 3.0 trucks, it was Rob Wright of MacArthur, Ohio, taking the test hook on the infield track to 359 feet aboard his all-attitude Dodge. And the win over Jeff Hostler's Flirting with Disaster, Nick Stom's Frank, and Brian Shue's Iron Maiden. In 9,500-pound limited Pro Stock tractors, Kevin Lindstrom of Ellsworth, Wisconsin, perpetuated his knack for invitational wins with a 352-foot victory aboard his Hyper Harvester International. Colin and Chris Lear followed with their Darien Deer and Badger Deer, Mike Sather with Adrenaline Rush, and James Geezy with Hicktown Hurricane. In 9,300-pound Super Farm tractors, Dave Whelan's test hook on the My Last Excuse IH held up and got another trophy for his mantle in Tipton, Michigan. Jeff Casey's Whoopie Maker was second, and then Jeff Martine's Hustler, Dan Schulte's Binder Express, and Mark Miller's Diggin' Deep. In 6,200-pound four-wheel drive trucks, Ike Zering of Fillmore, Indiana crossed another one off the Bucket List Dodge's weight box with a 332-foot class ender. Following were David O'Connor's Nasty Boys, Mick Broughton's Shock Treatment, Carol Suki's Totally Geared, and Andy Skluzacek's Colonel. In 2,050-pound modified minis, Todd Boltman's Stress Relief came down from Zeeland, Michigan to give them headaches at 342 feet. Ken Boltmeyer's Wampas Express Flipside, Brian Goose's Grandpa's Disaster, Scott Van Antwerp's Playin' Dirty, and Tim Ray's Methanol Madness all challenged the Bowerbilt Iron Boy weight transfer. In 8,000-pound heavy superstocks, John Pfeiffer's Pfeiffer Max matched the Mini's best pass to claim the victory. Ken Rockner's Long Haul Harvester had the second longest tote, while Joe Degenhardt's Diggin' Hard unfortunately could not answer the call. In 6,200-pound two-wheel drive trucks, Jeff Reitzel's At It Again, Did It Again. The C-Cab Ford from Orient, Ohio hauled the mail out to 375 feet to eclipse Wayne Timmerman's Showtime. Dave Coughlin's Final Drive, Matt Seitz's Buckeye Hooker 2, and Dustin Amundsen's Bottoms Up filled the field. In 8,500-pound light pro stocks, Evan Smoot of Eaton, Indiana got the John Deeres on the board with a 10-inch margin of victory on Barnyard Bandit over Nip and Tuck competitor Sean Thornhill's Missy's Pissy. Colin Burkholz's International 1456, Travis Tilton's Always Something, and Mike Palmer's Red Avenger Classic also made fine passes. And in 7,500-pound modifieds, Les Corporal's Corporal Punishment from Marion, Indiana survived a false start and recovered to win. Todd Feist's Snow Farmer, Ken Miller's Corn and Soybean Special, Terry Feist's Feisty Farmer, and Adam Revere's Iron Phoenix also brought the noise to the Interleague. Again, GN finishers will be discussed next week after the Dragway 42 Fall Shootout in West Salem, Ohio, this Saturday, September 25th. You can also watch the replay of the running of the 34th Enderley Pull-Off at ntpa.tv and get a complete list of winners at ntpapull.com. Reporting for the NTPA on the Overnight Drive, I'm John Dunlap. Stay safe and pull.
Thank you so much, John Dunlap. Exciting weekend there. The Enderley Pull-Offs closing out the season. Wow. All right, plenty of room for you at 844-844-3388. Hey, good morning, Eagle, I believe. What's going on, Eagle? Oh, that would be Eagle getting some rest. All right, Eagle, give us a ring back. He might wake up. You never can tell. It's 844-844-3388. There is a historian and documentary filmmaker, Ken Burns, who said that the present day is one of the worst times in American history. He made those remarks while on the Smart Less podcast. He actually comparing current events with the Civil War, the Great Depression, World War II. It's really serious, he says. There are three great crises before this, which was the Civil War, the Depression, and World War II. This is equal to it, he said this past day, when asked about the direction that the United States was headed. He went on to quote comments made by Abraham Lincoln during a January of 1838 speech to a group in Springfield, Illinois, which says, "From whence shall we expect the approach of danger? Shall some transatlantic military giant step the earth and crush us at a blow? Never. All the armies of Europe, Asia, and Africa could not by force take a drink from the Ohio River or make a track on the Blue Ridge in the trial of 1,000 years. No, if destruction be our lot, we must ourselves be its author and finisher. As a nation of free men, we will live forever or die by suicide." Now, I said Lincoln's statement kind of highlights how the greatest threat to America is the nation itself right now. We are systematically, step by step, looking at death by suicide. We're looking right down the muzzle of that gun, is the way he put it. Is it that, have we come that far? Yeah, Big Moose would use that scenario if we're on that final ring around the bowl, heading down the toilet. All right. Well, with that, we've got clear lines at 844-844-3388. I guess it was yet another blow to the Biden administration where, remember how they were talking about trying to put 8 million dreamers into this $3.5 trillion reconciliation bill? And apparently, the Senate parliamentarian said, no, can't do that. That's not a piece that could be put in this sort of legislation. Well, Representative Carmack this past day says, well, you know what? How far will the Senate Democrats go to get their way? He said Democrats will try everything to restore immigration to the $3.5 trillion spending plan, potentially even firing the Senate parliamentarian who ruled that the matter should not be included in the reconciliation plan. And if that happens, the Florida Republican said Americans across the country should just absolutely call out this blatant hypocrisy for the rules of procedure. It was over the weekend, Sunday, the parliamentarian ruled that the immigration reform push was, by any standard, a broad, new immigration policy. That policy change substantially outweighs the budgetary impact of that change. That means Senate Democrats will fight tooth and nail because they know this is their one shot to get the ultra-liberal left agenda passed. They know that they've lost the House. They know that Republicans are going to be taking it back next year in the midterms. So this is going to be their one shot. You can only use reconciliation one time. So this is their way to do it. Yeah, you can only use reconciliation for a number of items, though. Mandatory spending revenue generation for the debt ceiling. Now, that leaves Democrats kind of stomping their feet because they can't get their way. As a result, they're going to do everything they can to push this through. That would include putting pressure on moderates like Joe Manchin, who still is not budging on the price tag of that $3.5 trillion piece of legislation. It is an outrageous price tag. All right, it's 844-844-3388. Would that be Tim, Jim?
It is, sir. How you doing?
Wow, brother, it's been a long time. I mean, when we first got things up and running, we heard from you a couple times in the first few months, but it's been a long time. Doing well. How about you?
Well, it's easier. I'm doing all right. It was easier to get in before. My routes kind of got all cattywampus with GM shipping late and what have you. So my hours been running different every time I got, like I said, I got 12 stops a night, throwing about 200 to 400 pieces a night. But,
wow.
So anyhow, like I said, it's just ain't no sense me trying to call in when I got all that noise going on with loading and unloading, and
gotcha.
You know what I mean.
Sure.
So, anyhow, if you get a chance, Steve, you mentioned earlier in the show about I forget who it was, but maybe Israel, I don't remember what. But anyhow, there's no control group on any of these alleged approved treatments for the COVID, right? Anytime you have a testing or you want to see what's going on, you got to have the group that's getting the treatment, and you got to have a control group that gets nothing. Correct?
That's if you want to get some legitimate, true science, that's what you need. Correct.
Legitimate is the key word there, sir. Yes, legitimate is the key word. So if you get a chance, I told you this probably when this all started a year or so ago. Look up at the Amish community, Coshocton and Holmes County, Ohio. Check their numbers because they're not doing any of this mandating or vaccinations or anything. And they're open to the public. All their shops are as open as it ever was. And then look at all the counties around it, and that'll give you your control group. And then if you remember, it might have been 2 years right before the beginning, the military had that big test themselves where they took, I don't know how many troops it was, 500 or so troops. They split them, and one of them did the extreme measures, and the other one did nothing, and there was no difference in that group. Do you recall that?
I do kind of remember that, yes. Yep.
Yeah, so there's your control groups of where all this madness is going. That I respect the people that's getting it or not getting it. I mean, that's like I said, and we said that many times over, it's your choice. But I've also sent a couple emails to you, I believe, but for those that follow Diamond and Silk, which they're TV and podcasters and radio show. Actually, they're on Newsmax every Saturday. Mm-hmm. But they, on the September 1st podcast, I call it, where they interviewed three major doctors or researchers on this virus. They all had a big alphabet after their name. And every one of them said what you had alluded to earlier, that this mRNA either fades away or causes more harm on the long term than it does on the short term. It was never designed to do what they're having it doing. So anybody has the ability to go back to listen to that show. Now, they're two black women, not that matters their validity or anything, but they do get wound up on some other items. So you got to take that with the rest of the show. But the interviews, there's three of them, are about 20 minutes apart.
I used to be friends with Diamond and Silk on Facebook. I mean, did Facebook take them down or censor them away? Because they were big Trump supporters.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Yeah. Facebook took them down. You can still catch them on their own podcast. They got their own YouTube channel, and and then they got the podcast run just like you have. Mm-hmm. So you can catch them that way. And they're on, like I said, they're on Newsmax every Saturday.
Gotcha.
About 7 o'clock in the evening. But so yeah, you got the pool open still, or did you shut it down?
I was going to cover it yesterday. I got out there. I got it all vacuumed out, ready to cover now. I think I got to get out there early today because the storms are going to be rolling through later. Yeah, got to get the Princess up and get that thing on there.
Yeah, I was hoping to get one more week and finally dropped down to 80 degrees that last cool down we had, and I was hoping to get it warmed back up there, but I wanted to go through the same thing, put the old cover on it and the leaf net and call it a year, right?
Yep.
Okay, well, I see you're coming up on news break here, sir. I just thought I'd fill in a little bit of time for you.
Thank you so much. Good to hear from you, Tim Jim. I see Rowan cut all her hair off, didn't she?
Yes, she did. She got it shortened up for a while back, and she laid it was a little bit too short, I think, but because she had to cut one way, and she did it herself. It didn't come out too good, so that's what she has now is a result of fixing it up. But, yeah, she's done the short hair thing for a while.
All right. Yeah, well, I guess the one good thing about that is it'll grow back. Just takes some time, right? Yeah, we are up to news break. I got plenty of room for you. Jump on in here for our final 30-minute segment. It's 844-844-3388. The Steve Sommers Overnight Drive live from the Hot Shot Secret Studios.
USA Radio News with Dan Naraki.
Democratic congressional leaders say they will bring a bill forward that would suspend the debt limit and try to prevent a government shutdown. Current estimates are that the U.S. will be unable to pay its bills sometime in October if the debt ceiling isn't raised. The House is scheduled to vote this week on legislation that would suspend that ceiling until 2022 and fund the government through December. Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell said Republicans could support a measure to fund the government past September 30th, but only if it was separate from a bill to raise the debt ceiling. In remarks on the Senate floor Monday, the Kentucky Republican said that his caucus would support a funding bill that includes disaster relief and targeted Afghan assistance, as long as it wasn't tied to the debt ceiling. And Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau is projected to hold on to power, as multiple outlets are calling for his Liberal Party to win enough seats in Parliament to form a minority government. This is USA Radio News.
Hi, this is Dr. Joel Wallach, the founder of Youngevity and veterinarian physician, and I'm the guy that figured out the cause, prevention, and cure of cystic fibrosis. I'm the guy that found the cause, prevention, and cure of muscular dystrophy, and then I figured out the cause and prevention of sudden death syndrome. You don't hear about those three diseases anymore because in federal lawsuits, we were able to force the manufacturers of baby formulas to put these nutrients in the baby formulas. And those three diseases, cystic fibrosis and muscular dystrophy, were not genetic diseases. They were just simple nutritional deficiencies. Sudden death syndrome, crib death, was not due to mother laying on the babies. Only 2% of the babies were in bed with their mothers when they died. 98% were in cribs. We had that nutrient put into the baby formulas, and we ended crib death. 28 years ago, one child died of crib death per 100 normal births. Today, it's 1 per 3,000 normal births. And if everybody would give all the 90 essential nutrients to these kids, none of them would die. Contact us at usaradiohealth.com. That's usaradiohealth.com.
You're listening to the Overnight Drive with Steve Sommers.
Do you have a Dodge pickup and hate your automatic transmission? Of course you do. Levon Miller at Firepunk Diesel here, and we specialize in heavy-duty and performance transmissions for your 3-quarter or 1-ton Cummins-powered truck. So if you're interested in turning your stock slush box into a towing monster, call us today at 614-733-3744 or visit us online at shop.firepunk.com.
Drivers, you demand that your equipment's reliable and dependable, and that also applies to your headset for communication. Well, our friends at Stellar Electronic have you covered. The Pluto Duo headset bundle is the best communication headset you can find in the industry. No matter the challenging environment you're driving in, the Pluto headset will make you sound crystal clear all the time thanks to their 99% noise cancellation. And the Duo's not only a stereo converter for the headset, but also a power bank so you can charge as you go. Learn more at StellarElectronic.com or visit them on Facebook.
At Hot Shot Secret, we share the science behind common diesel problems and their solutions. For example,
Hot Shot Secret Diesel Extreme.
Today's ultra-low sulfur fuels are cleaner, but they leave injector deposits, causing frequent DPF regens and low throttle response. Hot Shot Secret Diesel Extreme is a 6-in-1 fuel additive recommended for all diesel engines. It is formulated with the most concentrated detergent on the market, a top-tier level cetane booster, lubricity enhancer, water demulsifier, rust and corrosion inhibitors, and a fuel stabilizer. Diesel Extreme is a once every 6-month treatment that will clean your entire fuel system, starting at the fuel tank and traveling throughout the fuel lines and fuel pump, and finally completely cleaning your injectors. Hot Shot Secret Diesel Extreme improves your diesel's fuel economy and eliminates excessive black smoke.
Hot Shot Secret Diesel Extreme is available nationwide at truck stops, fine farm and auto stores, and online at hotshotsecret.com. Hot Shot Secret, powered by science.
Diesel Army is on duty 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Burning the midnight oil with the best diesel coverage. All the tech, all the torque. Diesel Army, where there's smoke, there's fire. For the latest news and event coverage, as well as feature and tech articles, sign up for the newsletter and don't miss a thing. Visit dieselarmy.com from the Power Auto Media family of digital magazines. Again, it's dieselarmy.com.
PureFlow AirDog, your leader in fuel air separation system technology. Our systems filter out water, particulates down to 2 micron, and remove all of the air out of your diesel fuel. This allows for nothing but pure, clean diesel fuel to reach the expensive injection system equipped in your vehicle. Not only do our fuel systems protect, they also come in a variety of flow rates to meet your performance needs. Our systems are compact and use OEM-style fittings for an easy installation. Learn more about our product at www.pureflowairdog.com and be sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Protect your investment with PureFlow AirDog.
The Overnight Drive with Steve Sommers. Live from the Hot Shot Secret Studios. Call Steve now. 844-844-3388. That's 844-844-3388.
Good morning to Truck and Phil, checking in as he typically does this time of day. Morning, Steve Sommers in the Hot Shot Secret Nation. Happy Taco Tuesday, says coffee up. Yeah, one day off the full moon. Beautiful morning. Have a great day. Ready to depart Fort Wayne for that big Sterling Heights, Michigan, and back again. Like that daily route. Can't you just put that thing on an autopilot? You've made that trip enough times to know every crack and crevice in the roadways, every bump where you want to straddle. All right, good to have you with us, Semper Fi, as he always says. Well, while former President Trump has handed out a number of endorsements as of late to Republican, those running for office, Ohio State Senator Matt Dolan apparently will not be one of them. Dolan's running for U.S. Senate next year, his family owns the Cleveland Indians Major League Baseball team. Was denounced by Trump after the team changed their name to the Cleveland Guardians. Anybody that changes the name of the once storied Cleveland Indians to the Cleveland Guardians should not be running for the United States Senate, representing the great people of Ohio, he said. The Atlanta Braves did not change their name. The Florida State Seminoles did not change their chant, but Cleveland has. And they were first. Despite this, a man named Matt Dolan, son of the owner of the team, said he's against cancel culture. Did those two things really work together? Dolan called the decision an unfortunate response to the culture wars. But Trump called him a rhino, Republican in name only. In any event, I know at least one person in the race who I won't be endorsing, he said. The Republican Party has too many rhinos. He did issue a pair of endorsements this past weekend. Representative Mike Waltz of Florida and first-year Representative Diane Harshberger of Tennessee. Both who voted against the Democrats' second impeachment of Trump after he left office. All right, so no to Dolan. What's going on this morning? Larry, how the heck are you?
Good morning. Just getting back into the groove after a week's vacation up in the New England area. And I had a drive all the way across 90, across New York, and in through Vermont and everything else. Had a long trip towing my motorcycle.
Okay.
And I really, go ahead.
I saw some of your photos, your posts via Facebook and whatnot. Has the fall foliage begun to change up there in the Northeast yet, or still too early?
Yes, it has. The leaves are starting to change colors up in the Vermont area. We were in a town called Marlboro, And my wife Tracy had been told that we're going too early because the colors are going to change, but they're starting to change already. And it was a great trip. We stayed in the oldest inn, the oldest bed and breakfast in Vermont, and it was a place called Colonel Williams. And a great story. The place was built in 1774 originally. Pretty neat place. But had some lobster for $11 a pound, cooked, ready to eat, put in a bag, take it home.
Wow.
$11 a pound. So that's amazing.
I think it runs about $30 a pound out at Jungle Jim's, don't it? I was out there here a month or so ago, and I was looking. I was like, "Good golly, that's astronomical."
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you go into a restaurant, around here, and you're talking, you're going to drop $50, $60 for a live lobster, a whole lobster. Now, I did make a big mistake up there, and Tracy wanted to go to Salem to look at all the witchcraft stuff. But I said, that's not me. So I got on the motorcycle, and I went down to Boston. Big mistake on a motorcycle.
Uh-oh.
You ever been to Boston, Steve?
I have not, no.
Well, the roads are horrendous, and the traffic is even worse. My kidneys hate me for driving in Boston, downtown Boston, on a motorcycle.
Huh.
Now, the other experience I had was the coming across 90 and the service courts. Steve, do you know what it costs for a Big Mac, fries, and a Coke in Cincinnati?
What, $5-6?
$12.50 in those service areas along 90.
Wow.
Incredible. I could not believe. So for a trucker who's stuck on 90, you're pretty much screwed. I mean, it was big Burger King and McDonald's, all those restaurants that are up in that area. Steve, did you happen to hear